Thank you for joining us on NTA Nationwide News. I am Ifeanyi Okafor. President Goodluck Jonathan on Wednesday directed the immediate removal of the Bring Back Jonathan 2015 sign and banners around Abuja. The special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Dr. Reuben Abati, said in a statement that the signs were offensive and repugnant to Jonathan and many Nigerians. The statement noted that the president wholly shares the widely expressed view that the signs which were put up without his knowledge or approval are a highly insensitive parody of the Bring Back Our Girls tag, pointing out that he appreciates the enthusiastic show of support for his administration by a broad range of stakeholders. He condemns the Bring Back Jonathan 2015 signs, which appear to make light of the very serious national and global concern for the abducted Chibok girls. The president assures all Nigerians and the international community that his administration remains fully engaged with efforts to rescue the abducted girls and that he will not knowingly promote any actions that will fly in the face of the seriousness of their plight and the anguish of their families. Participants at the 2014 World Water Week held exhibition of water projects and resources, a platform for exchange of ideas, experiences and practices. Kirian Umayo reports that water and energy actors focused primarily on collaboration and partnerships in the areas of information development and decision support systems.
Water and sanitation sustainability as a political priority came to the front burner at the World Water Week. It was chaired by Minister of Water Resources, Mrs. Sarah Ochebe, who noted that Nigeria has established coordinated energy and water policies and governance, plus far-reaching contacts with experts, business innovators from around the globe for faster new thinking in water management. There was an exhibition by the Nigerian delegation.
We believe that other countries of the world, and particularly African countries that are here, can come and learn from the enormous work that we're doing in Nigeria.
At a meeting on energy, water and food nexus, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Power, Ambassador Godnose Ighale, requested Swedish business community to take advantage of the transformation in Nigeria to invest in the water sector as part of private sector involvement in water management in Africa.
So our question was, how can we collaborate to see that Nigeria, which is so well endowed in terms of water resources, how do we cooperate? Let the Swedish company, Vattenfall, which presented, how do we have such companies come to Nigeria and participate?
So you need private sector financing, you need private sector management, you need private sector expertise, to move the water forward and then to drive the energy for Nigeria.
24th World Water Week took an overall systems view of how nations can develop and manage water and energy for the good of societies and ecosystems at local, national, regional and international levels and avoid the unintended consequences of narrow sectoral approaches. In Stockholm, Sweden, Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
Nigeria has challenged international investors not to base their investment decision on news reports from the international media. The Minister of Mines and Steel Development stated this while addressing participants at the just concluded Africa Down Under Conference in Perth, Australia. Segun Ojelade reports.
Africa Down Under Conference is a major world gathering of international mining experts, investors and project financiers designed to expose the potentials of African mines. Various African countries took turns to present their country's potentials, policy framework and incentives to attract foreign investors, while Australian investors spoke of their exploits in African mines. It was therefore a good opportunity for Nigeria to tell the world her success stories in the development of her solid minerals potentials. Mohammed Musa Sada, Minister of Mines and Steel Development, told the gathering that Nigeria has successfully prosecuted a reform agenda that puts in place a world-class regulatory framework for the sector. He says the reforms have attracted a number of investors who have recorded good success in their exploratory activities in the country. The minister told his audience that Nigeria, which 5 years ago imported 89% of her cement needs, now exports the products as a result of the wide-ranging reforms in the solid minerals sector.
Acquiring the mineral title, like I said, is an autonomous agency. You go to the agency, you get the guidelines, you respect them, you get your license. You don't have to see the minister, you don't have to go to...
He spoke about the establishment of a one-stop investment initiative as well as the decision of government to merely create the platform to drive investments and allow investors to own and operate their investments. From Perth, Australia, I am Segun Ojelade, NT News.
Home in Nigeria, a 3-day national training workshop for project staff and facilitators of Fadama 3 project additional financing has ended in Lokoja, Kogi State, with a charge to participants to work as a team towards realizing the target goals. National Coordinator Fadama 3 project Taiwo Adeoye gave the charge while speaking at the workshop in Lokoja, Kogi State. Correspondent Yakub Onotu was there for NTA News.
One of the new departments created as a child of necessity to strengthen the Fadama project circle management, especially to provide solutions to project implementation challenges in data collection, collation, analysis, and its timely use for result-oriented decision-making, is the additional financing project. The initiative is also to aid information dissemination about the project and its guidelines to potential beneficiaries.
We want to see how best have you been doing it at your state level. Bring it up here. Let's go into group work, rub our minds, put it on the table. What are the challenges? What are the way forward?
Kogi State Commissioner for Agriculture, Zacchaeus Oluwate, and Director, Extension Services, Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Remi Abioye, disclosed that the workshop is about value reorientation and change of attitude for the project staff and facilitators, whom they described as foot soldiers of the Fadama project. In Lokoja, Yakub Onotu, NTA News.
As the 2015 elections draw closer, media practitioners have been challenged to bring their professionalism and ethics to bear as their contribution to free, fair, and credible election. This was the thrust of a 2-day workshop organized by the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and the Radio, Television, and Theatre Arts Workers Union, RATAU, holding in Abuja. Correspondent Ruben Okala filed in this report. The workshop, powered by Democratic Governance for Development Project, is for members of RATAU in the northeast and northwest of the country. The forum is x-raying how professionals can prepare themselves to face the challenges of broadcasting the election process without compromising standards.
Presenting the program in such a way that it will conform with the regulations as per the election in this country. So basically it's to sharpen their skills so that they will be in tune with the electoral processes.
With this, a lot of mistakes that have been made before will be corrected come 2015.
Fortunately, there's an attempt to polarize the media, and that is where we think that the media has to stand up and remember that they have a responsibility to the country to uphold the integrity, the unity of the country, the stability of the polity, rather than to individuals or sectional interests.
Other issues for deliberation include ownership interference and its consequences, electronic media and election awareness, as well as managing the broadcast media during elections. We now join our Lagos Network Center, where my colleague Abdullahi is standing by for more sensitization on the Ebola virus disease and how to handle it. Take it away, Abdullahi.
Ifeanyi, thanks for joining us here in Lagos. Lagos State government says it will take legal action against those who have laid off their employees or evicted their tenants on the grounds that they had either been treated or had come in contact with victims of Ebola virus. The State Commissioner for Health, who warned against stigmatization, declared that 2 of such cases now on ground will be referred to the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice for necessary action. Justo Moses reports.
The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Jide Idris, noted that stigmatization resulting in laying off from work and being evicted from accommodation would discourage suspects from coming out, thereby thwarting government's effort to tackle the disease. He encouraged any stigmatized person to petition the State Ministry of Justice. Stigmatization, according to him, who violate the human rights of those who had been cleared of the disease.
The fact that somebody is a suspected case of Ebola or has been treated and been discharged and Ebola free, or is considered as a contact to an Ebola case, does not mean that the person should lose his or fundamental rights to health.
Dr. Idris pointed out that 19 out of the 366 contact persons are yet to complete their 21-day monitoring period. According to him, there is no new case of the disease in Lagos, as the only person remaining at the isolation center was brought from Rivers State. The commissioner also proclaimed that the first consultant hospital of Balende, where the first case of Patrick Sawyer was discovered, had been decontaminated and certified to resume work in Lagos. Jessica Moses, NTN News.
In another development, Nigerians have been advised to avoid having close contact with people that need medical help in order not to contact Ebola virus disease, irrespective of relationship. This advice was given by a consultant virologist and head of virology laboratory, Lagos University Teaching Hospital Luth, Professor Sunday Milabu. Thomas Obeteri has details.
The death of the Deputy British High Commissioner at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport as a result of the inability of people around to come to his aid as a result of the fear of Ebola is a reference point to reactions to the Ebola disease in Nigeria. The people's reaction was as a result of the Patrick Sawyer experience, which brought the virus to the country.
I would rather look into the people where they've been able to solve the problem.
First of all, find hand gloves at that point, or later, see if we can help that person at that moment.
Professor Sunday Milabu, a virologist from the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, also assured members of the public that Nigeria is not an epidemic country as far as Ebola virus is concerned. He, however, advised members of the public not to be too quick to touch or handle sick people with their bare hands.
The team on ground knows what to do. So they should be allowed to attend to patients. And hospitals should have such team on ground.
With adequate protective measures, the virologists assured that Ebola virus will be kept away. In Lagos, Thomas Obetere, NTA News.
To education now, the management of Ibadan Business School have introduced a number of courses to meet the need of present demands of best practices in the world. Some of these programs were unveiled at an interaction in Lagos. Tola Adebule has details.
The World Bank support is aimed at improving entrepreneurship through educational system. The opportunities include project management, procurement management, and business feasibility studies. Mr. Yinka Fashuyi of Ibadan Business School speaks further.
Ibadan Business School offers a very unique opportunity to Nigerian economy by providing a demand-driven, need-driven, tailor-made response to our socio-economic challenges through the design and conception of his training programs.
Business School was dreamt, conceived, designed, and planned to provide a customized response to Nigeria's socio-economic development challenges.
For any institution to receive a stamp of approval of the World Bank, I think that institution deserves a bank.
Opportunities will also be available for online programs apart from classroom-based. It is the expectation that the educational opportunity will further improve capacity building in the country. In Lagos, Tola Adebule, NTA News.
Still on education, illiteracy and the global challenge of access to affordable and quality education can be addressed effectively if individual institutions of learning embrace open educational resources and massive open online courses. This was emphasized at a sensitization workshop on open educational resources organized by UNESCO for staff of the National Open University of Nigeria. Joaquin Abakwe reports.
As higher education continues to evolve, new cost-effective approaches which provides individualized learning to a more diverse student base are being adopted. The open educational resources and the massive open online courses are some of such initiatives. This online systems, which aims to ensure access to required knowledge, is said to have the potential to educate a large number of students who do not have the opportunity to pursue a degree under the conventional system.
Many qualified students in Nigeria are not able to access this education, so OERs is just one more opportunity that they can access it.
The workshop, according to organizers, is to stimulate open educational resources awareness among the National Open University of Nigeria staff and develop a well-defined implementation plan for the transformation of the institution's online educational course materials.
We want to show that we have a lot of intellectual properties in Nigeria that we can generously donate to the development of human beings.
The Open Resources Educational System was first adopted by UNESCO in 2002. In Lagos, Joyken Abakuya, NTN News.
It's back to Ifeanyi in Abuja now as Nationwide ends in Lagos. Ifeanyi, over to you.
Many thanks, Abdullahi. Moving on to politics now. The leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, will continue to accord youths priority to enable them to be more relevant in the scheme of affairs of the nation. The national chairman of the PDP, Alhaji Ahmadu Adamu Muazu, stated this when he granted audience to the PDP National Youth REAP Group in Abuja. Political correspondent Femi Johnson reports.
The national chairman of the PDP commended the initiative of the group to complement government and the party in empowering the youth. He gave an assurance that the People's Democratic Party will support their project.
The leadership of the party at the national and at the various states will continue to collaborate and cooperate with you so that you achieve your desired results. This is an election year. The fact that we need youth and women, with youth and women and the Almighty God on our side, I know we are the winners overwhelmingly.
The coordinator of the PDP National Youth Rural Empowerment and Peace Advocacy Project, Mr. Solomon Godwin Bamola, says the mega agricultural project titled Youth Back to Farm will provide more job opportunities. 2 people are now in Israel, while some will be in Egypt to learn more on agriculture, particularly farming.
Our major target is youth back to farm. And the youth will go back to farm and put food on all Nigerian table so that Nigeria can be at peace, thereby creating some job opportunity in the rural area for all our youth. And we call it a mega agricultural villages.
The group promised to also mobilize more support for the People's Democratic Party as the 2015 election draws nearer. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party in the Southwest Zone have also restated their support for President Goodluck Jonathan ahead of 2015 election. This was at the end of their meeting, which took place in Abuja.
Southwest PDP is going to be strongly supportive of the aspirations of Mr. President.
In Abuja, Femi Johnson, NTA News.
Staying with politics, Vibrant Transformation Awareness and Leadership Development Initiative, Vitaldi, has reiterated its support for the transformation agenda of President Goodluck Jonathan, describing it as a laudable achievement. The national coordinator of the group, Senator Saidu Umar Kumo, stated this while distributing 3 branded vehicles for grassroots mobilization of support for the continuity of Mr. President.
The Vital D is an organization that has carefully observed the excellent leadership qualities of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan and Architect Nambadi Sambo, and have resolved to throw our full support behind the transformation agenda of Mr. President and Architect Nambadi Sambo as a single ticket, and the PDP as our party.
The coordinator revealed that national rallies will soon commence from the northern part of the country. You're watching Nationwide on the NTA. Time to pause for some messages. The news continues shortly.
The North Central Zone. Gratitude is the best gift to our friend indeed. Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria TAN is therefore inviting all well-meaning citizens of Niger, Benue, Kwara, Kogi Plateau, Nasarawa and Federal Capital Territory to the North Central Zonal Rally on Saturday 13 September 2014 at the Trade Fair Complex, Pico Road, Mina, Niger State. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Wonderful people of the North Central States, let us all converge at the Trade Fair Complex, Pico Road, Mina on 13 September 2014 to express our gratitude to our able President, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, for his wonderful transformation activities in Nigeria, especially the North Central States. Yes, to honor our king is to pave your way to the throne. The Southeast did it, the Southwest did it, and the South has also done it. It's now our turn to do it. We will do it in the most amazing style, the North Central style. And to subscribe to Nigerians' demand, TAN North Central Zonal Rally 2014, the grandfather of all rallies. Saturday 13 September 2014 at Trade Fair Complex, Pico Road, Mina, Niger State. You can't afford to miss the action.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria, TAN, for One Vision, Nigeria.
Do you crave class? Do you have taste? And do you care about comfort? If you do, then for your next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or a holiday, visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our world-class services, exquisite suites, restaurant and bar, gymnasium, spa and grills, and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jade's, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com. You can also call us on 09291-9321 or 0810-909-7956. Jade's Hotels. Welcome to life.
You don't do. I don't tire for all the things we dey yarn.
You dey yarn okpata. Shey you think say na only you fit buga? I go show you.
You dey show yourself all these years. I just dey look you. This time you go know the kind person wey
I been dey watch as you dey try scatter my future.
The future wey I dey try organize for myself, small. Na him you dey try kill, abi?
Na to kill, scatter, and destroy my purpose always dey your agenda, abi? Oh, but you no fit oh, not this time.
I don't set my own agenda.
I know how way your agenda go fit pass my agenda.
Because my agenda strong pass your agenda.
For this election, the agenda now.
It's our future.
No violence.
Just vote.
Set the agenda for this election. No violence, just vote.
Bragging is not President Goodluck Jonathan's style, so you'd hardly hear him brag about all the great things he is doing for Nigeria. He wouldn't tell you he's the first president to privatize power, to give us a constant supply of electricity and economic prosperity. Soon your electricity will be like your mobile phones, 24 hours, 7 days a week. He won't brag about security, new roads, new rail, or new airports, eliminating corruption in agriculture and saving $25 billion per year, mass housing projects, or that our economy is growing at the fastest rate in the world. He wouldn't brag about any of it because he knows there's a lot more to be done. Mr. President, right on. We that are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
The Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria nationwide rally has kicked off from the southeast with an impressive collation of over 1.6 million signatories in support of President Goodluck Jonathan's transformation continuity. On Saturday, 23rd August, the historic town of Ibadan was the melting pot as Southwesterners trooped out massively to join the clarion call with over 1.8 million endorsements. On Saturday, 30th August, the geopolitical constituency of Mr. President South stood still with over 4 million signatories, a reverberating and unequivocal statement. The President does that. You have been tested and trusted. Continue your National Transformation Initiative. On Saturday, 13th September 2014, Mina, the Niger State capital, will be the rallying point for the North Central Zone. Arise, North Central Zone of Nigeria, and be counted. More Nigerians demand.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria, TAN, for One Vision, Nigeria.
Glad to have you back. For the federal government's adopted draft policy on child labor for a clean-cut demarcation between child labor and child work, experts made the call today on NTA Breakfast program, Good Morning Nigeria. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The adopted draft policy on child labor officially launched recently is geared towards addressing the prevalence of the practice of child labor, which is observed to be undermining national development. Under the policy, the minimum age for employment of a child is put at 16. It also outlines clearly conditions under which children below the age of 16 can work, putting the nature of such job under consideration. A senior program officer with the International Labour Organization ILO, Chinyere Emeka Anuna, said child labor within the Nigerian context is completely out of place. For child work, she said there are tendencies of clashing with child labor most times.
There is no distinction whether it happens in the city or it happens in the rural area. But if you look at it, and when a child is hawking, does that portend danger to the child? You will agree with me that the life of the child is at risk. The child can also be kidnapped. The child can be killed while he's running across the road. When you see those children meandering the cars, you know that. Especially if you go to Lagos and you see the speed at which children cross highway, the highway roads because they want to hawk, then that will tell you that the life of the child is at danger.
Professors of philosophy Friday Ndubusi and Sophie Oluwole attributed causes of child labor to poverty, unemployment and inadequate awareness. They called on stakeholders to carry along the people in the implementation of the policy, considering Nigeria's diverse cultural practices.
The nation must emphasize on the interest and welfare of the child because the children are the future of any nation. So it is something that we have to look at very seriously. At the level of policy implementation, there is the need to encourage the state to domesticate this law to ensure that not only that they are domesticated, but that they are implemented. Because even
the tradition should also agree that making a child of 15 work for money is not in the interest of the child. The child doesn't even know the meaning of work. They will overwork him. They will harass him or her. So employment at 15, yes, I think that is not right because the child is not matured enough. But work, he should start working before 15, not employed.
While the essence of the draft policy on child labor is to reposition the Nigerian child for a better future through the instrument of legislation, the experts were unanimous in their belief that only strong advocacy can drive the implementation of the entire process to a logical end. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan has approved the rehabilitation of the Kuban Dam of the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. This came to light when the Permanent Secretary, Ecological Fund Office, Goni Sheikh, called on the Vice-Chancellor, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, Professor Abdullahi Mustafa, in his office. This is coming against the backdrop of government's desire to expand the water facility, which was originally planned for 6,000 people and now overstretched by about 60,000 people living in the area.
Frightening challenge you have. First of all, the source of water was completely being eroded because of siltation. Worse, the little water that you have is completely polluted.
Honestly, if there is one project which I will be proud of and happy as a Vice Chancellor is this new project. The dredging of the Edu Dam and the handling of pollution. I think once this is done, I think we're okay. I think Edu certainly will have achieved a lot.
The Permanent Secretary, Goni Sheikh, advised the university to establish a liaison desk that will work with contractors, subcontractors and consultants on the project to ensure speedy completion of the job and quick adherence to the approval bill of engineering, measurement and evaluation. Nigerians are assured of laws that conform with modern realities as steps are taken to review the nation's obsolete laws. This is the stand of discussants on NTA Tuesday Live as they say that the 1900 English statutes inherited is somehow outdated. Talatu Ezerike reports.
Discussants say there are widespread agitations for a review of the pre-1900 English laws being practiced in the country on grounds that most of them do not conform with present realities, and more so that England has reviewed its own laws over time. Development, they say, necessitated a synergy of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission and the National Assembly to review, among others, some of the laws governing the running of the nation's economy. Of most important is the Sales of Goods Laws, which was enacted in England in 1893 to be reviewed to boost trade and investment.
The 1893 Sales of Goods Act, although some of the states have domesticated that, but at the federal level it has remained so without any amendment at all.
The way transactions used to take place in those days has changed drastically from the way business transactions take place today. It has become necessary to redefine, for instance, the marketplace.
We want provisions that will make the relationship of buying and selling smooth, without much disputes.
Other issues raised include if the review will cover the Land Use Act, the environmental law, elimination of undue delays in judgment delivery, and also on what is on ground to address unfair treatment of contract workers.
To ensure how well can an average Nigerian be protected? How well can somebody, it's not a question of whether you having a connection or whatever, there must be a template where everyone is protected.
The discussion is coming against the background of review of outdated laws in Abuja. Talatu Ezerike, NTA News.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Kogi State Command, has destroyed an illegal refinery located at Achose, a village along Okene-Auchi Road. Commandant of the Corps in Kogi State, Dayo Adesuyi Clement, who led an anti-vandalism squad to the scene, told newsmen that the refinery was destroyed last year but was rebuilt and expanded by the vandals. Correspondent Yakubu Notu tells us more.
Commandant, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Kogi State Command, Dayo Adesuyi Clement stated that the command got intelligent information about the nefarious activities of the men of the underworld and immediately swung into action. The commandant disclosed that men of the anti-vandal squad engaged the illegal operators of the refinery in a gun battle which lasted all through the night before his men could take control of the illegal facilities. He added that a suspect was arrested while others escaped with various degrees of injuries.
At the last count, we have about 65 drums made of PMS and diesel. Very unfortunate.
The refineries were later set on fire by the civil defense team.
Yes, okay.
From Achose, Okene-Auchi, Benin Road, Yakub Onotu, NTA News.
Ebonyi State Commissioner for Health debunks rumors of Ebola disease in the state. Ngozi in Enugu will give us details of this and other stories from that zone. It's over to you, Ngozi.
And welcome to Enugu Network Center. The Ebonyi State Commissioner of Health, Mr. Sunday Wangele, has debunked the rumor that there is an Ebola patient at the Federal Teaching Hospital, Abakaliki. Ijoma Peter Wante has details.
Dr. Sunday Wangele said the rumor came as a result of a patient suffering from peptic ulcer, currently receiving treatment at the Federal Teaching Hospital, Abakaliki. He assured the public that the patient has no sign of Ebola disease.
There is no case of Ebola virus disease in Ebonyi State. When the signal came to us, or the report came to us, we responded. We got the management of the teaching hospital to send a senior doctor to review the patient. That was done.
He commended the public for their vigilance and stressed the need for personal hygiene and regular washing of hands. In Abakaliki, Ijoma Peter Wante, NTA News.
Nigerians have been urged to support President Goodluck Jonathan in the 2015 general elections to enable him consolidate on the developmental programs. Former Deputy Governor of Ebonyi State, Professor Chigozie Ubu, made this call during an enlightenment campaign organized by a group known as Mass Movement for Goodluck Jonathan 2015 in Abakaliki. Kingsley Okoro reports.
Mass Movement for Goodluck 2015 comprises of the Forum of Former Deputy Governors and Nigerian that yearn for good governance. The former Deputy Governor of Ebonyi State, Professor Chigozie Ubu, commended President Goodluck Jonathan for his developmental strides and appealed to all Nigerians to support the president in the 2015 general elections.
To give him support to continue the good work he's been doing.
National coordinator of the group, Dr. Kenneth Ibekalo, said the movement is aimed at sustaining the developmental programs of the president and urged him to contest the 2015 election in order to consolidate his good works.
I expect that as we inaugurate and launch everything today, every one of you will become the apostle and disciple of the movement to actualize the second being of Mr. President.
The state coordinator of the group, Reverend Godwin Obasi, extolled the virtues of the president and appealed to the people of Ebonyi State to give him all the needed support in 2015 general election. The enlightenment exercise was attended by executives of the group from 36 states of the Federation and Abuja in Abakaliki. Kingsley Okoro, NTA News.
The Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria TAN Enugu State Chapter has recorded additional 85,000 signatures urging President Goodluck Jonathan to seek re-election in 2015. Chimobi Wharton Naji reports that the new signatures were raised during the inauguration of the state coordinators in Enugu. The report.
Were inaugurated to coordinate the 3 senatorial zones in Enugu State, while 17 were inaugurated to coordinate the 17 council areas. The 260 wards in the state also got coordinators. Inaugurating the offices, the state coordinator, Mr. Anayo Onwebu, charged the newly inaugurated offices to remain good ambassadors of the organization. He explained that the Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria TAN is a group with objective of wooing President Goodluck Jonathan to run in the 2015 general election because of his developmental strides in the southeast.
We started telling you all about our desire to get Goodluck Jonathan to accept to run for a second term. And it kicked off at Oka in this part of the world called the southeast.
Other stakeholders at the event, including Senator Gilbert Naji, said TAN is a non-political organization opened to non-politicians who have the interest of endorsing the president for a second term in office. The inauguration became necessary with the desire of the group to take its campaign to the grassroots and to ensure smooth passage of the Project 2015. In Enugu, Chimobi Walter Naji, NTA News.
The Enugu State Ministry of Transport has organized a one-day awareness workshop on Transportation Master Plan for Enugu Metropolis and ways of sustaining it. Chika Ugo has details.
Said, the major characteristics of any developed city is how their transportation is planned and organized. Hence, the need to ensure that a safe and sustainable land transport system is provided in the states.
With a view to giving us an Enugu urban transport master plan that will guide and shape our approach to modern city transportation.
Speaking on the vision of the transportation system in Enugu State, the chairman of the occasion, Mr. Innocent DOK, identified rail transport, pedestrian and cycling infrastructure, transport integration, and transit service as some of the key transport issues for consideration in the master plan. Declaring the workshop open, the Enugu State Governor, Sullivan Chime, represented by the Commissioner for Human Development and Poverty Reduction, Mr. Godwin Ogenyi, said, the goal of the master plan is to ensure a free flow of traffic, adding that when transport is right, security, housing, and development will be right.
The determination, the investments, the pursuit of excellency that this government has invested in Enugu speaks of aspiration of the city of our future.
Participants gave ideas and suggestions to be harnessed to ensure the success and achievement of the master plan. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
That's all from here. It's back to Ifeanyi in Abuja. Ifeanyi.
Ngozi with reports from our Enugu Network Center. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Youth and Student Matters, Judy Magwe, has assured Nigerian youths of President Goodluck Jonathan's readiness to include young people in governance. Judy Magwe said this while addressing participants at the Festival of Ideas organized by Rethink Nigeria. He said the president charged youths to organize themselves to demand the removal of age barriers that restrain them from contesting for elective offices in the 1999 Constitution.
Engaged and employed. It goes beyond Shopee to win youth in agriculture, because for every time Shopee accommodates young people, there are people that graduate out of university. In the weeks and in the days ahead, the president is equally going to roll out again another plan. It is called the plan of getting more and expanded people into employment.
PDP National Women Leader Kema Chikwe applauded the initiative for young people's inclusion in governance, adding that they should start small and grow along the line. The Festival of Youths has over 200 youths in attendance. And in the meantime, youth in various communities of the FCT said they are ready to complement government's efforts in providing adequate security of lives and property of citizens. They said this during a peaceful rally organized by elite community. The youth demonstrated their readiness to partner with security agencies to ensure a peaceful environment.
If you check the security, mostly the Boko Haram, you know that the situation is mostly from the community. And we, the elites, we are most of our activities is in the community. And any suspicious movement in the environment, they should report immediately to the appropriate authority.
Then the youth should not, involve themselves in criminal aspects.
And inside to put something together to make sure that we youth in Nigeria come up and enhance the work of police and other security agencies.
They called on youths all over the country to remain proactive in promoting government's decision for the desired peace and development. Some retired civil servants receive entitlements in Kaduna State. Details of this and other stories with Suleiman in Kaduna. Hello, Suleiman. It's over to you now.
Thank you very much, Ifeanyi, and welcome to Kaduna Network Center. A summit on traditional justice system reform has been held in Dutse, Jigawa State. Declaring the summit open, Governor Sule Lamido said the justice system in the state has recorded about 80% success. Correspondent Awal Muhammad Kazori sent in this report, presented from our studio.
The summit was organized by Jigawa State government in collaboration with Justice Sector, a Law Reform Commission and Justice for All program. Declaring the summit open, Governor Sule Lamido said respect of human rights should be given top priority and handled with care. He said the program plays a significant role in providing easy access to justice by the poor who rely on informal justice sector to resolve many of their disputes. Governor Sule Lamido also urged traditional rulers to support the program in their various domains. Other speakers at the summit said the program has helped in maintaining social cohesion. The summit was attended by traditional rulers including the Shehu of Borno, Dr. Abubakar Ibn El-Kanimi, and the Emir of Bauchi and Daura, among others.
Another batch of 206 retired civil servants of Kaduna State have received checks for their entitlements after 35 years of service to the state. The report. It used to be a common complaint by civil servants who have retired from service or next of kin of deceased officers that their entitlements are not paid in good time, with state governments carrying bulk of such blames. In what appeared to be a departure from the past, A total of over 628 million naira is again set aside for the payment of the 206 beneficiaries in the second phase of the exercise started in August this year. The state government says it is committed to settling all other entitlements it is owing pensioners before the end of this year.
And let us be on a level that we don't have any arrears. By the time we reach that level, then we can start looking at the possibility of ensuring that there is an increase in the pension. The government has also provided for payment of pension arrears of some civil servants who were dismissed from service during the military era.
While Chairman, Nigeria Union of Pensioners Kaduna State, Abdurrahman Korbai, appealed for upward review of pension in the state, other beneficiaries say they will invest what is given to them wisely.
Once there is an increase in salaries, there should be a corresponding increase in pension.
I have a project on site that I want to accomplish it. As soon as this money materializes, I am going to complete my project.
As 1.4 billion naira is on ground for disbursement to other retirees, the present administration has so far settled over 6.7 billion naira of pension entitlements to its pensioners. Kaduna State intending pilgrims to Saudi Arabia have been advised to intensify prayers for peace and prosperity in Nigeria during this year's Hajj. Governor Mukhtar Malengero of the state gave the advice in a farewell address to the pilgrims. Correspondent Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports.
295 intending pilgrims from Soba local government area, like their counterparts in other local government areas of the state, passed through 4 months mandatory training on Hajj and medical check, which qualified them for visa to Saudi Arabia to join other Muslims in the world for the 2014 Hajj. Addressing the intending pilgrims before their airlift to the Holy Land, Governor Ramalan Yero of Kaduna State reminded them the need to intensify prayers for peace and unity of Nigeria and urged them to put to good use the training they have received during the Hajj exercise.
They should remember to pray for themselves and also pray for the country. We are confident that the officials are going to perform credibly and wonderfully. But in the event we have some challenges, definitely we are going to punish any official that did not perform well.
The Amirul Hajj for the state, Alhaji Rabiu Bako, pledged that the pilgrims will be good ambassadors of the state and the country while in the Holy Land. 5,760 intending pilgrims are expected to perform this year's Hajj in the Holy Land from the state. In Kaduna, Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
And that is our contribution from Kaduna Network Center. It's back to you, Ifeanyi, for more on Nationwide.
Thanks, Suleiman. Equitable participation of women in politics and governance is essential to building and sustaining democracy. This forms the thrust of discussions at the 3-day leadership training for women in politics holding in Abuja. Kemi Fakaya reports that the program was organized by Women in Politics Forum.
Comprising over 50% of the world's population, women have continued to be underrepresented as voters, political leaders, and elected officials. Investigations showed that this is due to some hindrances, which range from financial to socio-cultural. Participants at this leadership training for women in politics said the time has come for the Nigerian women to be actively involved in governance in spite of the challenges.
With the media, women are underreported. Let them report more on women. And women, like the campaign I'm starting, Women for Women, irrespective of your political party. We're not enough in individual parties to make that impact.
We want women outside, the market women, different groups, to understand that for us, it's very important to support a credible woman anywhere we find one.
We have the value, we have the potential, and yes, we can do it, and look inwards and bring out that our inner hidden values, to the fore.
The resource person, Mrs. Obinwanko, stressed the need for gender mainstreaming as a tool for achieving affirmative action for women in politics.
And we are hoping that with this new dispensation, political parties will be able to mainstream gender into their activities, mainstream gender into their structures, gender equality into their structures, to ensure that those voices that have been so excluded, so neglected, and so marginalized will be brought into the equation this time.
The program is sponsored by the United Nations Development Program, the European Union, Department of Trade and Foreign Affairs, Canada, as well as UK Aid. In Abuja, Kemi Fakeye, NTA News.
UNICEF briefed newsmen in Port Harcourt on Ebola. This and more stories as we join Dauju in our Port Harcourt Network Center.
Hello, Ifeanyi. Good to see you. Good evening and welcome to Port Harcourt. The need to check stigmatization and allay the fear of the Ebola virus disease in Rivers State was the main thrust of the media briefing by the National Ebola Emergency Operations Center in Port Harcourt. Correspondent Ifoma Omesa reports that the briefing was done by the incident manager of the center. Her reports.
Popular among people in Nigerian society today is fear arising from the spread of Ebola and the means by which people believe it can be contracted. Incident Manager, National Ebola Emergency Operations Center, Port Harcourt, Dr. Fesai Shoaib, said Ebola virus disease can be handled if detected early and medical attention given to victims on time.
It was critical for us to dispel some of the misinformation, some of the panic and stigma that is beginning to occur in some communities, because it is only by knowing the facts that we can really protect ourselves and defeat this virus.
During the interactive section, responding Dr. Fesai Shoaib emphasized the need for regular hand washing with soap and water and not touching people who are sick with Ebola virus will reduce the chances of getting the disease.
There is no treatment, there is no definitive treatment for Ebola virus disease. It is the supportive treatment in terms of giving fluids to replace fluids that are lost when a patient vomits, when a patient passes diarrhea, or when there is a sustained fever. It is those supportive treatments that boosts the survival of people that have Ebola virus disease.
He therefore called on the general public to shun stigmatization, and anyone who has contact with an Ebola patient should make it known for immediate medical attention. In Port Harcourt, Ifoma Omesa, NTA News.
The International Federation of Red Cross Society is training volunteers in Rivers State on emergency response and management techniques for epidemic outbreaks, especially the Ebola virus disease. Correspondent Onenge Fineface reports that the volunteers at the end of their training will be deployed to various localities to educate people on measures to prevent and manage the disease.
50 volunteers from different communities that cut across various age groups are undergoing the International Federation of Red Cross Society training, which is aimed at equipping them with information on the nature of the Ebola virus disease, best methods to identify victims, use of personal protective equipment, care for victims, and other issues concerning the management of medical emergencies.
Making sure that you are observant. If you see any person in the community who is showing the symptoms that are already being aired by the media, people should be referred to the health facility.
Some will assist at the command center to do contact tracing, while others will do screening at the airports and other places.
At the end of their training, these volunteers will take the message of personal hygiene, alertness, regular hand washing, among others, to members of their communities.
From the knowledge I get here, I'll be able to apply it to the society. If I see an Ebola patient, at least I can identify, I can help. I know the necessary precautions to take in order to help the person.
By rescuing them, giving help to them, making sure they regain their self and they are relieved from the infection.
In Port Harcourt, Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
The Bayelsa State House of Assembly has passed a vote of confidence on the state governor, Henry Seriake Dixon, for performing credibly since he assumed office. This was done at an extraordinary plenary session with Governor Seriake Dixon in attendance to mark the resumption of members from a short recess. Correspondent Samuel Numunenge completes the story.
Governor Seriake Dixon was invited by the Bayelsa State House of Assembly to inspect ongoing rehabilitation projects in the premises and commissioned the new assembly complex was granted special permission to join in the extraordinary plenary session. Members took turns to state various projects taking place in their constituencies, urging the governor to continue. Speaker of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, Friday Combe Benson, gave further reasons why the House passed a vote of confidence on the state governor.
Looking at all the other areas, go to housing and other things we see, Yenagua is becoming, fast developing city. We don't have to wait for somebody to come and tell us. We are part and parcel of what is going on. We see it, we taste it, we feel it.
Bayelsa State Governor Henry Seriake Dixon, in his response, said every member of the House contributed to his achievements within a very short period and promised to do more.
I appreciate the wonderful sense of unity and solidarity and camaraderie that prevails amongst all. That is the tradition of the Parliament.
The extraordinary session featured choir presentation with some members of the public and political office holders in attendance. From the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, Samuel Numunengi, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Port Harcourt. It's back to Ifeanyi for continuation of Nationwide. Good evening.
Thank you, Dauju. Sports now. Battle for ticket to 2015 Africa Cup of Nations continue across the continent as organizers of Good Luck Jonathan Sports Foundation begin week-long screening exercise in Abuja. Amanzi Marcos has details on sports updates.
The battle to get 15 qualifiers to join hosts Morocco in the 20th edition of the Africa Cup of Nations continue Wednesday throughout the African continent. In Group A, the biggest clash is between South Africa and Nigeria. The Bafana are hoping to defeat Nigeria in a competitive match for the first time.